everyone, nice to meet you again with the Disney 3D Art YouTube channel. In today's video I will be the character Abuela Alma Madrigal in the movie Encanto everyone. Alma Madrigal, often referred to as Abuela, is the deuteragonist of Disney's 2021 animated feature film Encanto. A woman who was blessed with a gift-granting miracle candle. Abuela is the matriarch of the Madrigals, the mother of Julieta, Pepa, and Bruno, and the grandmother of Isabella, Dolores, Luisa, Camilo, Mirabel, and Antonio. As the original source of its magic, Abuela also serves as the head of the enchanted village in which she and her family resides. As with the rest of the Madrigal family, Alma was designed to reflect family archetypes that are immediately relatable. The studio was initially going to make Agustin as the patriarch of the family, but this was changed due to a field guide on Colombia telling the studio that the local communities are matriarchal, which led to the creation of Alma as the matriarch. During the creation process, Alma originally had hair that transformed into a river that flowed for miles, and the family would have had to follow it in order to connect to her emotionally. But this was discarded as it didn't fit the story correctly. She originated from the beginning as a severe and complicated person. Someone that has to always look out for the well-being of her family and the town, with a painful connection to the past. To create her appearance, Alma's costume design and color palette had to feel much more subdued than the other characters in order to represent her stern and rigid personality. Maria Cecilia Botero, Alma's voice actor, describes her character. Abuela doesn't have a gift. She's the one that keeps the family together. I think I am, too, in my family. So it was kind of myself. As the matriarch of the Madrigal family, Alma is dedicated to doing what in her eyes is best for her family and initially hoists expectations on her children and grandchildren in how they use their gifts to help the community. Often taking the form of a demand for perfection. Due to her desire for perfectionism, Alma has a certain favoritism towards some members of her family without realizing the damage and insecurity it causes to other members of the family. Out of all her grandchildren, she favors her oldest granddaughter and golden child Isabella, this doting placing a lot of pressure on her while concurrently making her sisters and cousins feel inadequate living in her shadow, causing mutual resentment between her and some of them. As far as sons-in-law go, Alma preferred Felix over Agustin, due to not approving of the latter nor in him marrying Julieta. Partly because she judged him harshly for his clumsiness and unwillingness to understand why her daughter chose him. Alma's expectations and desires for perfection also extended to her own children. Keeping a tight grip on to make them perfect. Unintentionally, Alma is quite neglectful with Pepa due to the problems of her gift. Alma not only ignores her when she needs help, she also often negatively criticizes her daughter for her emotional tirades and often pesters Pepa to keep her emotions under control instead of supporting her properly. Alma tries to be patient and understanding, but from her point of view, she feels some should just step aside and do nothing without her express approval. As a result, she is very controlling and denies there is anything wrong, assuring her neighbors that all is well and that there is nothing to fear. Even when Casa Madrigal is cracking all around her and the townspeople are nervous. But the truth is, Alma knows that her home and perhaps even her family is in danger. As she privately revealed to herself, as Alma spoke as though she were speaking with her late husband, Pedro, revealing that Alma is afraid for her home, her family, and losing everything as they did before, and she cannot bear to go through that again, and she prays to her Pedro to help her. This displays Alma's vulnerability that she is too afraid to reveal even to her family and that Alma feels the burden of trying to preserve her family, her community and their miracle and their Encanto, and explains why she does everything she can to protect them. Unfortunately, this fear of losing everything again often causes her to assume the worst in a situation or even in others, including her own family. Alma would particularly doubt her only son, Bruno, since his often negative visions that tended to cause trouble lead her to believe he didn't care about their family after he left, and her granddaughter, Mirabel. As being the only member without a gift made Alma look down on her and exclude her from family activities at best or, upon seeing Bruno's vision, fear her destroying the magic at worst. When she sees how her expectations of her family are unraveling because of Mirabel, Alma, misinterpreting her attempts to help as jeopardizing the magic according to Bruno's vision, jumps to conclusions without hearing her out and unfairly blames her for everything, accusing her of hurting the family out of jealousy for not being given a gift. Alma further lashes out at Mirabel as she reveals she blames her for Bruno's disappearance, as well as getting angry when Isabella tarnishing her perfect image by being herself, ruining her engagement with Mariano, and Luisa begins to lose her super strength, showing that Alma views them no different from the way she views Mirabel. Finally fed up with this treatment, Mirabel angrily snaps at Alma and stands up for the family, stating that no matter how hard any of them tries, magic or not, none of them will ever be good enough for her or her expectations. And that Bruno actually left because she only saw the worst in him. When Mirabel goes as far as to say that Alma is causing the miracle to fade, the older woman, initially denying this, can only be silent and shocked at these words before the casita collapses as a result of their heated argument. Taking in the destruction of their home, Mirabel's words, and half of her grandchildren putting themselves in danger to save the candle would cause Alma to realize the pressure and even unintentional misery she had been subjecting her family to. In a sincere heart-to-heart with Mirabel by the river where her husband perished, Alma reveals more insight in their family beginnings. In the memories of her youth, Alma was once a cheerful young woman full of life who, after falling in love with Pedro, had hopes for a better future. But when her husband sacrificed his life to buy time for his family, friends, and neighbors to escape from the marauders who were after them after having to leave their home, Alma was left devastated and broken. Losing the love of her life, her home, and everything she knew and loved in the span of a night traumatized Alma so much that she swore it would never happen again, determined to preserve what had given them a fresh start. But over time, she lost sight of what truly mattered, unconsciously and ironically taking their miracle for granted, and forgot who it was for. And what made their family so special was not the magic but the fact that, in spite of tragedy, they are a family. It was because of this that Alma was constantly looking outwards for a problem or even a threat similar to the soldiers to all she held dear, that she never thought to look inward until it was too late. Which is when she finally realized her family had been broken because of her and why she never considered that her well-intentioned actions were the problem. Now understanding the pain and loss Alma had never fully healed from, along with the burden she had long carried, Mirabel assures her that it is because of her that they were saved. That they were granted a miracle, that they are a family and nothing is so broken that they could not fix together. Touched by these words, Alma finally realizes, after asking Pedro for help, that Mirabel was the answer to her prayers and they reconcile. Immediately following this, Alma also reconciles with her lost son when he suddenly appeared to confront her after a decade before she warmly hugs and kisses him while calling him Brunito. Happy to have him back despite previously having a low opinion of him for leaving their family. Alma then becomes a happier and warmer person than she was before, freeing herself from her dark past. The first thing Alma does after realizing her past mistakes and returning to the ruins of the casita, is to affectionately treat her daughters before bringing Bruno back into the family. Alma reconciles with the rest of her family, apologizing for how she held on too tight out of fear she would lose them all as well, but now understands that they alone are the true miracle, not the gift of magic itself. She also happily works alongside her family and community as they rebuild the casita, helping to strengthen the bonds of the family to become stronger than ever and causing the magic to be restored later in the Encanto. First is paint the skin, then color the silver hair and wear the slippers for Abuela. Next is to wear dark pink dress with butterfly pattern and a frilly white collar for Abuela. Next is to wear the earrings and draw the hairstyle for Abuela. Finally, decorate the face for Abuela. So the character Abuela Alma Madrigal in the movie Encanto has been completed. If you like and creative ideas, please like and subscribe to receive the new notifications. At the same time, download the app and go to the website DisneyStore to shopping online, as well as Disney Plus to watch some movies and TV shows for free. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching everybody. Goodbye for now.